Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get the updates. In videos I say I'm really excited for today's beer a lot. This one is next level. So if you want the review, just fast forward. I have a couple things I want to say. So it's another Black is Beautiful beer. I have the proper glassware. Beer always tastes better in proper glassware. And this is from Crowns and Hops. So I started following them on social media when they were called Dope and Dank. And they were kind of like an early mission for them, and one that has continued, is let's diversify the space of craft beer, right? And they would have events and branding. Black people love beer. Shirts, glasses. They brewed a beer with that, and just trying to like get out there and get people out there to both see this exists and Black people and brown people do like beer, and then also I think the education piece was there from, it seemed like, from the get-go. They rebranded to Crowns and Hops. They will be opening a brewery next year, and I actually donated to their, I think it was Kickstarter, I'm pretty sure that was the platform they used, and they're going to be open in Inglewood, California. I live in upstate New York. I don't think, maybe I shouldn't say never, but it is COVID and all that stuff. I wasn't planning on ever being at the brewery or anything, but I was just like, Black people are going to open a brewery. We do need more of that in the United States. I'll certainly donate some money towards that. And it's really exciting. I'm going to try one of their beers. And again, their brewery doesn't open until next year in 2021, but they brewed this at Hen House. My friend Jim lives out that way, and he's had some Hen House, and he speaks highly of them. But I was actually able to get this on, was it craftshack.com? They had a couple Black is Beautiful beers that I ordered and I'll be reviewing. Three that I ordered, but I think they're up to four. Anyway, this is about a month old, and it's just amazing because it's a brewery I didn't think I'd really maybe ever get to try, but I was kind of invested in, or not kind of, was. Their take on this is a 7% pecan pie stout. Brewed, like I said, brewed and canned for Crowns and Hops by Hen House, and that's in Santa Rosa, California. It's almost a month to the day old. Contains tree nuts, pecans specifically, and lactose. I don't remember if they put like some caramel in it or not. I try to go into these kind of blind, so I didn't really re-look too much up. But let's get into it. Has that dark cola color to it, for sure. A little bit of dirty. I thought I had a perfectly clean glass. A little bit of dirtiness. Yeah, and again, just such the correct color for these dark beers. Yeah, it's definitely black in the center, very dark brown. I see a little bit like crimson red at the bottom. So it is that dark cola color. About a finger and a half of a light mocha head, small bubbles, almost approaching, now they're starting to break up a little bit. When I first poured it, almost approaching a nitro level, but not that teeny tiny, but getting close to that. But they're starting to kind of break up into just regular small and even some medium bubbles. But definitely looks the part of like a 7%, pretty big stout. But not motor oil, but not very thin either. So yeah, what I would think about that 7 or 8% range, it's going to see aroma. So like the base beer, basically all of these Black is, because I've had ones that are either like pretty much the recipe, or like the recipe but brewing it to a lower ABV, or the base recipe but maybe some adjuncts in it. It has that roast, it's almost approaching coffee, but you can tell it's not coffee, it's just the roast from the roasted malts. There's a little bit of added sweetness, maybe from the lactose. Again, I don't remember if they put caramel in it or not, but so maybe it's from the lactose that's a little sweeter. Kiss of vanilla. It's pretty faint, and it's, again, really it's that dark chocolate roast approaching coffee thing. Earthy, and they kind of keep using the same thing I've said in these other reviews. Is it more Russian Imperial Stout or is it more Black IPA? This one is smelling more like the Russian Imperial Stout side of things. But you could see how some, people, myself included, see the Black IPA in these beers. It smells really good. Let's get into taste. Cheers. Mm. So I wasn't too surprised. Like, I don't like. Okay, so if it's a peanut butter stout, for example, and they're putting like that PB2 powder in it, I think that's a really good, easy way, and not like in a diminishing way for brewers who use this. It's fine, and I support it. It's pretty easy to get a peanut butter aroma. I don't know if you put in pecans whole or if you chop them up and put them in. I haven't had enough pecan beers to know how easy or difficult it is to get that to come through in the aroma. But you do get a slight nuttiness in the taste. It seemed like a long way to get to that point. Good body to it, and lactose adds to body for sure. So I'm going to attribute some of that to lactose, but maybe does adding pecans help some? And this again, I'm a little naive about putting nuts into beer in the brewing process. Does that help the mouthfeel part? Because it has one of the better mouthfeels of these Black is Beautiful beers I've been reviewing. It has so much of that roast, and for me, it's not coming across as coffee. It very much is that very roasty stout thing. If you see, again, I mean, it says pecan pie stout. If you see that and you think this is going to be some crazy syrupy dessert stout, pastry stout, that's not what this beer. I mean, at 7%, usually those kinds of very syrupy ones, they're going to be a higher ABV. So this is not some super sweet. It's roasty. It's almost savory, and I hate to say it because I think sometimes if you say savory, people might think like, do you mean it has like a soy sauce thing? No, it doesn't have like that. Maybe like beef jerky, the beer, something's wrong with the beer. It doesn't have that kind of savory thing. It's just that roasty quality that gives it a little bit, or enough that I'm at least commenting on it, of a savory flavor. And again, for me, the biggest difference is that mouthfeel. With the lactose, it's not, and again, I do think it's helping it bump the mouthfeel, but that lactose is not overly sweet in this beer. It's not killing me with like, oh, this drink's like a milk stout either. So it's definitely an even hand put in that lactose. As much as I'm talking about that savory, as much as I'm talking about that roast, and again, I do think it skews a little bit more of the Russian Imperial Stout, but the finish is a pretty big, what I consider a black IPA. So that's kind of interesting, the finish. Although the beer itself drinks more Russian Imperial IPA, or Russian Imperial Stout, the finish is a little bit more on the side of black IPA. Let me take another swig. Yeah, so the taste itself though, besides, and this is at this point it's because I did the live stream with two more. So I think this is the 8th one of these I've had. Best mouthfeel. It's not the sweetest. The Trillium one had some barrel aging. And that one was a little sweeter than, or not even a little. That one was sweeter than this one. But this one, for ones that taste a lot like the base recipe, this is the sweetest one I've had. And again, not to say it's pastry stout level or dessert stout, although named after a dessert. I could see this. You gotta like roast. So if you're someone who's like if you don't like beer, and someone's like, but you like pecan pie, drink this beer. It doesn't have enough of that where you'd be. Let me put it this way: a couple Thanksgivings ago, I brought a pumpkin from Southern Tier to Thanksgiving, and my aunt's like, I don't like beer. I'm like, that's fine. I said, just try this, just for fun. It's a pumpkin beer, and she's like, this doesn't taste like beer. This tastes like pumpkin pie, and I'm like, yeah, like beer. What you think beer tastes like isn't what all beer tastes like. Reverse that, right? Like flip that. If you're like, I like pumpkin pie, then I give you that beer, you might like it. So that's what I'm saying. If you like pecan pie, but you don't like beer, you don't like stouts, this isn't that beer for you like a Southern Tier Pumpkin might be for a pumpkin pie fan. That being said, if you like roasty stouts, and you also want a little bit of that itch scratched with a little bit of dessert, specifically pecan pie, I could see that. And again, I don't know how much the flavor kicks out. You know, it doesn't have too much of a nuttiness. It's certainly not much more nutty than any of the other ones I've had, but definitely a good rendition. I like it. It's just what your expectations are. If you think this is going to be a straight pecan pie pastry stout, it's not what this is. But if you want the base beer with some cool adjuncts that are going to help with the mouthfeel and add a little bit of sweetness, this is the beer for you. Yeah, I like it a lot. I went in, I think, with the right expectation that hopefully this is delicious, and it is. But yeah, props to them for brewing it. Props to Hen House for helping provide them a facility to do this till theirs is open and participating. I meant to look up where they're donating their money to. I'll put in the description box below. My apologies for that. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Check them out on Instagram Untappd. There's no hype beer reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.